Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am so excited about this video today. So today I am actually taking part in my own design challenge. So if you don't follow me already over on my Instagram, I put out design challenges every Monday for creatives to get involved in. So this week's brief is a sparkling water brand called Brook. So I have always wanted to design a drinks brand, and part of this brief is to design the packaging for a can or a bottle. And I have never done this before, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what I can come up with, and hopefully it turns out as good as I think it does in my head, but you guys will see by the end of this video. So if you are ready, sit back, grab your cup of tea, and let's get on with the design. So, as I mentioned before, I am taking part in this week's Creative Glow Challenge set by me, and the brief is to design a sparkling water brand, and the name of this brand that I came up with is called Brook. Now, Brook defines as a natural stream of water, so I thought it would fit in really well with this type of brand. I think it's really important to have a really shorter name so all the packaging can do the talking. So for this sparkling water brand, we are going to go all out with the colours. You can see lots of fruity flavours, and I'm just going to get in some really nice, bright, energetic colours to show exactly what this brand can do. So let's have a look at my Pinterest board that I've already put together. As you can see, I have put together typography, images, packaging, and everything that I feel like the direction of this branding is going to go down. And from this, I can pick out my favourite bits and then use them within my design. So with the typography, I've got lots of text that have been manipulated to look really playful and sort of curve around one another. So when I think of water, I think of like a constant stream, nice and flowing. So I'm going to get that within my branding too. So once the Pinterest board is done and I know the direction that I want to go in, we're going to start creating a mood board in Adobe Illustrator. So to do this, I just drag in my favorite elements from the Pinterest board and create a mood board that will always be within Adobe Illustrator when I'm designing. And then hopefully from this mood board, I can find a really nice color palette to go with it too. So now I've got my mood board in Adobe Illustrator. This is where I'm going to get straight into it and start seeing what typography I want to use. I definitely want to manipulate it so it's kind of curved around each other, creating a really nice flowing feeling to remind you of that water feeling. So just like the composition typography in my mood board, I feel like having taller letters, smaller letters, and just something that makes you feel like all the words are fitting around each other will work really nicely for this brand. First thing first, if you know what I'm like, I go through a load of different fonts and then I pick my favorites, which is exactly what I'm going to do now. So I have found some different fonts that I am really vibing with. They are very different on this one. Normally I find really similar fonts and then pick, but I really don't know what sort of typeface or font that I want to go for. So I think like this is the best way to go through them and see which direction I want to go down. So let's start off with the first one, which is Ivy Journal Bold. So I really love the R and the K on this one. It's really talking to me and I feel like it could be manipulated really well. The only thing that I'm struggling with the serif is if I want it to sort of curve into each other, it might be a little harder, so it might be worth me going for a sans serif typeface, but I'm going to keep it in here just in case I feel like I'm not going to manipulate it that much. Next is Bebus, I think it's Bebus Newer. Some of these fonts have such weird names, but I use Bebus in quite a lot of my stuff, which I really adore, and I feel like this one would work really nicely with being able to elongate the stems of the font, and I just feel like this would work really nicely. Next, I put in a really quirky font that I thought would work really nicely because it reminds me of the sort of water feeling. But looking at it now, if I want to go all out with the packaging and bringing in loads of different colours and lots of patterns, I feel like this may be just too overpowering for what I want. So I'm going to just get rid of that one. Next was this one, the B. It either looks like a pair of boobs or some sunglasses, and I don't know if I like it. Obviously I can manipulate it and remove that space, and I just really liked how everything looked really tall because I have a feeling in my head that this typography is going to be quite stretched and quite curved around each other, so maybe that one would work, maybe it wouldn't. I don't know if I'm vibing with it or not. Let me know if you like this font. It is called Carnot Regular. I feel I'm having an ick towards it You know when you just get like an ick and something just isn't right? I'm feeling that, so I'm gonna just get rid of it. Goodbye, gone. Next is this one, which is Malevolent. Don't come at me in my comments for how I'm pronouncing these fonts. I'm preferring this one to this one over here. So I'm gonna get rid of this one and keep this one in. I feel like it's a little more crooked, and I like that it's not perfect, because when you think of water, it goes in all different directions. It isn't just one stream. See what I did there, little pun? Yeah, I'm quite liking that, so I'm going to keep that one. Next is this one. I was going for the Bebus Newer kind of look, but now looking at it, it looks really techie, really perfect, and I'm not vibing with it, so it is gone. Another one is Hyman Regular. I kind of... See, now looking at it against the Bebus, I'm not vibing with it. Once again, this is going to be very easy to manipulate and elongate these stems, but I'm going to get rid of it. So we are on to the last one now, which is Nilvard 2, this one is called. And I really, really like this. It's kind of a mix between both of these actually, with the R being really nice and curved, and then still having the really nice straight edges on it, but with a little roundness to it. So I kind of like that it's these two combined. So I feel like this is a good combo, and I'm gonna go for Nilvard 2, which is this one. So I'm gonna get rid of these two, and we're just gonna go full steam ahead of creating this logo. And I'm really excited about this because I sometimes find it really hard to create logos with one name. When you've got two names, the composition and the layout is a lot easier. Whereas when you have one name, you really have to focus on getting the typography right, getting the layout right, and making sure that it does grab your attention. Because one name can sometimes just look a bit boring, but you guys are in for this design process with me, and hopefully I can bring it to life and make it look awesome. So I am ready to manipulate the out of this typography. Within this typography, I've actually found as well that they have a semi-bold one and a 1 and a 2 version. So I'm going to change the O's to the semi-bold, because having slightly tweaked letters is really going to grab your attention. So I'm going to change this to these. And then on the K, they actually have a glyph which makes it a little curved, which does remind me of the stream of water that we are wanting to refer back to. As well as the R, they both work really, really nicely to each other. So I'm going to continue manipulating this and hopefully turn it into a recognizable and distinct logo for a sparkling water brand. So I'm currently using the Shape Builder tool to combine some of the letters together, which works really, really nicely, and it's such a good tool to use because it removes certain shapes for me and makes everything look like it is flowing really nicely. Now I'm loving the R and the O combined. I really wanted to get that like downfall of water going from a stream and going up as if it was like a wave. So you get a really nice flow on the typography, and I just feel like that is such a good idea for me. I've manipulated a lot of the letters and I just need to finish off doing the K, and I love how the K also is going down and up again. So I'm going to carry on manipulating this text and then see if this has worked or if this idea has just gone to pot. Okay, I think I did something here. I think this works. I did have to look at it a few times, but I feel like it is working really nicely. The O's remind me of something, maybe like pebbles of like the water smashing on it. I don't know. Something in my head is just making me think that this is working. And I just love how the letters really just go into one another, reminding you of that nice stream. I don't know why I keep doing this, but I feel just like a really nice flowy feeling while still keeping it harsh. It still has a really nice flowing feeling to it, so I'm really liking it. And I like how I've manipulated this text to create something that is just so bespoke and so custom. And yeah, so I'm gonna play around with some colors now to see what will work with this logo, and this is my favorite part because this brand is going to be so colorful. I'm excited to start exploring some colors and really make the brand come to life. These colours are just looking so nice with one another. I got really stuck with if I wanted to include like a darker colour into it, like a blue, obviously to show like the water, but I feel like going away from the blue and just going really against what you would think you would include for a water brand makes it a lot more distinct and against the norm, which is what I live for. I always try to go away from what everyone else is doing, so a lot of these sparkling water brands that I had a look at were using like blues to show that like infusion with the water, but this just reminds me of a really fun, funky, fruity brand, and I'm really excited to keep exploring this. I'm gonna work on a few logo marks, but now that I've found the colours, I am really loving this whole look of this brand. And I feel like when you add in the colours, you just know if that brand's gonna work or not. To be fair, I didn't have these colours in mind. I was thinking of using the black, but when I changed the logo colour to a more brighter colour, I just knew that black wasn't gonna work for this. I think black would work for maybe like a spirit or an alcohol company, but for something that is more sparkling water and more airy and free, I feel like using more brighter and bubbly colours just works really nicely with this brand. I'm working on the icon logo, which is just the bee, and I was struggling a bit with the shape of it and if I wanted to manipulate that anymore. But I thought it'd be really nice to just include some sort of water element within the bee. So within the inside of the bee, I've done like a little wavy dip just to refer back to the water element. It's really simple, but it works so well. And then with the pattern of this bee, I have mirrored it, so it kind of looks like a B and an R, so it reminds you of brook, and it just gives off that really nice downward fall again, which I was going for within the logo, of the water dripping and it being a continuous stream. So I really love that it looks like that, and I feel like even that B and R pattern would work really nicely on a can or a bottle, or even in some stationery or something like that. It just would work really nicely, and it still refers back to the brand, which is what I love about creating patterns. So that moves me on to the next thing, which is creating a pattern for this brand. So I tried a pattern when creating the Submart logo, and I really like to include sort of the look of pebbles and stones, because obviously in a stream of water there are going to be rocks and stones at the bottom. So I'm going to use the colours that I've already used within this branding and create a nice brown pattern that may be used within the can design or the bottle design. So the idea of including the sort of pebble rock look is working really nicely, and it fits in so well with this brand. I have included a yellow colour within the brand pattern, which is absolutely fine to do so if you want to bring in some extra colours within your pattern. I just felt like it was missing something when I put all of those colours together, and the yellow works really nicely as well. So I'm excited to use that pattern on the can or a bottle packaging to see what it'll look like and see if it really makes it stand out. So next I'm going to look for some photography that will work really nicely with this brand, just to give it some real life purpose. So I'm going to try and find some really nice fruit and water and see what the branding looks like with it. So in my clients' projects I will include photography elements as well, just to show their branding in action in real life and to get a feel overall of what the branding could be like in the real world. So I'm going to use Unsplash and Pexels to find some really nice photography that I can use for free and for commercial use. I am loving this whole brand. I get so excited at this stage once I've completed most of the branding, and then we move on to the next stage, which is packaging it all up and putting it onto mock-ups so my client can see what the can or the bottle would look like. Obviously this client is made up because this is a brief made by me, but it is my favourite stage when working on client projects, is producing the mock-ups and showing them exactly what the brand is going to look like. So I'm really excited to see this one, especially with the brand pattern. Everything just really ties into that water stream. Even though the colours of it aren't blue and what you would normally think for water, it's giving me such fruity, such energetic vibes, and I am all about this brand and all about colours if you didn't know that already. So I'm going to move on to the stage of mocking everything up. So I'm going to find some really quirky and really nice sparkling water flavours and produce some mock-ups and designs for the can and bottle. I was thinking as well it would be really nice to put a twist on it and maybe create some branded water bottles that you can buy from the company. So if you want to keep your water cold for longer, you can buy premium water bottles from this company itself. So that would look really nice branded. So I'm excited to move on to the mock-ups and see what this brand is going to look like mocked up. So I'm getting all of my mock-ups from Envato Elements. So I have a subscription with them. So if you want to check them out, check the link in my bio. I literally love all of their stuff. All their mock-ups are insane and they really do help bring all of my projects to life. So I'm going to be using a few mock-ups from there and any others I can find that really make this brand look awesome. I love this stage when everything is done. So that is everything mocked up onto the cans and the bottles, and I only showed you a sneak peek of one of the mock-ups that I was working on, which was the tall thin bottle design. Now I was struggling to incorporate the pattern within the design, but I've worked around it and I've managed to make it look really, really good. Well, in my opinion, I think it looks really, really nice and makes it really stand out against everyone else. So I'm so excited to show you everything that I have been working on and the whole brand. So sit back and enjoy this new brand, Brooke. So that is the whole project wrapped up. Once again, please let me know what you thought of this brand, Brooke. And if you want to get involved in any of these challenges, make sure to check out my Instagram page, which is _AbbeyDesign. I set the briefs every Monday and then review them every Sunday. So if you want to get involved, make sure you head over there. So if you did love this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to this channel if you want to see some more design content.